The best time to buy an asset is when the price is the cheapest and the prospective return is the highest, because the prospective return for any asset 10 years out is the price you pay for the asset today. That gives us the best indication of the return of that asset. The lower the price you pay, the better the prospective return. The same exists with investments. If there is blood on the street and people are running scared, they've sold down asset prices indiscriminately, often very emotionally. That is the best time to be invested and take risk in a portfolio. It is certainly not the best time to retreat back into cash. I would stress that time horizon is a very important consideration in any investment you can make. You can ride out the volatility, you can ride out the hard times if you have a long-term perspective. It helps you to be less emotional about managing money.
Your investment manager should be assessing whether or not you have the psychological capacity to stay fully exposed in volatile conditions, and that should be a dialogue that you have with them. They should have selected a mandate that enables a degree of buffering of the inevitable volatile experience that the world will give you in uncertain times. The fund manager will then assess whether or not at that point in time the best buffer for the world's stormy conditions is cash or some fixed income investment which may be anti-correlated with the risk assets you have. And at the moment, our most recent conversations would suggest in our own investment strategy that cash is unusually attractive as a buffer relative to history. So today, if you ask me, should I use cash rather than a corporate credit investment as a buffer in my portfolios, I'd say yeah, it's a higher priority than it has been for some time.
Hiding in cash usually requires you to get a return from that cash that at least compensates you for inflation. And for much of the last 10 years since the financial crisis, cash hasn't compensated you for inflation. That's the whole point of the QE system that we've had. Now, for the first time, particularly in America, we are getting to the point where cash is starting to compensate you against inflation, therefore it's a less unrewarding place to hide.
If you come from a treasury perspective, and I mean a treasury, a corporate treasury, you always manage cash as 1 to 3 years on the curve. That's normally viewed as cash because you have a very short time horizon, you know you'll get your money back. And often as an investor, it's safer than holding cash. There is this misnomer that cash is the lowest risk investment, however you have counterparty risk, particularly if you have a lot of money. When you have a few $100 in the bank, it's not risky because you will always get your money back when the bank goes under. However, if you have a few million, so if you have a 100 million portfolio and $1 million is placed with one bank and that bank goes under, you're only guaranteed about $100,000.
We have a fascinating engagement with one of the world's best investors in New York, and he has a great saying. Did you ever hear about the 6 foot tall man who died crossing a river that was 5 foot deep on average? What that means ultimately is that you need to have sufficient powder dry and you cannot be over leveraged that will make you sink even in an environment or in a short-term period where things get a little bit choppy. So cash is always a very important thing to have. It buys you optionality. It's an underutilized resource in portfolios and something people should always default to in times of uncertainty, not necessarily in times of market stress.